Welcome to the Nameless.
The first photo showed my coffee cup on the desk while it was still warm. I remembered noticing the steam because it curled in front of my laptop screen, and the light from the window hit it just right. I was scrolling Instagram absent-mindedly when the notification popped up. New post from following. It was a private account with no profile picture, no bio, and 0 followers. The image loaded slowly, and when it did, I felt that brief, confusing moment where you recognize something before you understand why. It was my desk, my mug, taken from behind me, posted 2 minutes earlier. At first, I assumed it was some glitch or a weird coincidence. That's how my brain tried to protect itself. I turned around in my chair and scanned my apartment, half expecting to see someone standing there with a phone raised. Of course, there was nothing, just the hum of my refrigerator and the distant sound of traffic outside my second-floor window. Before all of that, my life had been pretty unremarkable. I was in my mid-20s, living alone in a small apartment outside of Portland. I worked remotely doing data entry for a logistics company, which meant most of my days were spent in front of a laptop, coffee within arm's reach, music low enough that I could hear emails come in. I didn't go out much during the week. Weekends were for groceries, laundry, and the occasional visit to my parents an hour away. Instagram was just something I scrolled through when I was bored. I had maybe 300 followers, mostly people I knew from college, old coworkers, a few random accounts that followed me back years ago. I didn't post much. Pictures of my dog, Milo, when he was still alive, a sunset from a hike. Nothing that would give someone a detailed look into my routine. At least that's what I thought at the time. The account followed me sometime that morning. I remembered because I'd gotten the notification and ignored it. Private accounts followed me all the time, usually bots or people trying to sell something. I didn't accept or decline it. I just let it sit there. That was my first mistake. After I saw the photo of my desk, I clicked into the account. There was only that one post. No highlights, no tagged photos. The username was a string of letters and numbers that didn't spell anything. I refreshed the page twice, half expecting it to disappear. It didn't. I told myself someone could have hacked my phone. That explanation felt safer than the alternative. I checked my phone settings, changed my Instagram password, then my email password. I even ran a quick virus scan on my laptop. Everything came back normal. By the time I finished, the coffee in the photo was cold. About an hour later, another notification buzzed. I didn't want to look at it, but I did anyway. The second photo was of me tying my shoes by the front door. The angle was low, like the phone had been held near the floor. My face wasn't visible, but I recognized the scuffed toe of my sneaker and the small tear in the welcome mat I'd never bothered to replace. The timestamp said it was posted less than a minute ago. I stood completely still, one shoe half-tied, listening. There were footsteps in the hallway outside my apartment sometimes, neighbors coming and going. But this was different. This was silence, the kind that feels intentional. I didn't leave my apartment that day. I locked the door and pushed a chair under the handle, even though I knew it wouldn't do much. I spent the rest of the afternoon checking my phone every few minutes, waiting for another post. None came. That somehow made it worse. The next morning, I woke up to 3 new notifications, 3 photos posted overnight. The first was my dark bedroom, taken from the doorway. The second was my phone on the nightstand, screen lit up with a notification from my alarm app. The third was of me sleeping. My face was turned toward the wall, but there was no mistaking it was me. The caption on that one was just a single period. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed, phone shaking in my hands, trying to remember if I'd locked the door before going to sleep. I always did. I was careful like that. I got up and checked anyway. The lock was still engaged. The chair I'd wedged under the handle was still there. I didn't call the police. I thought about it, but I couldn't figure out what I'd say. Someone took photos of me, posted them online, without any sign of forced entry? It sounded ridiculous even in my head. Instead, I messaged the account. I typed and erased a dozen versions before settling on something simple. Who is this? The message stayed unread. Over the next few days, the posts continued. Always mundane. Me brushing my teeth. My car in the parking lot at work, taken from across the street. A picture of my grocery cart at the store. My hand reaching for a box of cereal. Each one was posted in real time or close enough that it made no difference. I started testing it. I changed my routine, took a different route to the store, went to a cafe across town I'd never been to before. 10 minutes after I sat down, a photo appeared of my coffee cup on a different table, the reflection of the window showing the street outside. I hadn't seen anyone take it. No flash, no obvious movement. I told one friend about it. I sent her screenshots. She joked that I had a secret admirer and told me to block the account. I did. For about an hour, I felt better. Then the text came through from an unknown number. It was a photo of my front door. The caption said, "Blocking doesn't help." After that, I stopped trying to rationalize it. I started sleeping with the lights on. Every creak of the building made my stomach tighten. I covered my laptop camera and put tape over my phone's front-facing camera. The photos kept coming anyway. What unsettled me the most was the consistency. Whoever it was never interacted with the posts. No comments, no likes, just documentation, like they were keeping a record. Sometimes I wondered if the account was automated, some kind of advanced stalking software. But that didn't explain the angles, or the fact that sometimes, if I stayed still long enough, the photos stopped. One night, I noticed something different. The latest post was of my living room couch, empty. The caption read, "You left the window open." I hadn't. I was sure of it. I checked anyway. The window was unlocked, open just enough to let in the cold air. I closed it and locked it, then sat on the floor with my back against the wall until morning. The climax came a week later, though at the time it didn't feel like a climax. It felt quiet, too quiet. The account hadn't posted in almost 12 hours. I checked obsessively, refreshing the page until my thumb ached. Nothing. I went about my day in a fog. I kept expecting the next notification, the next intrusion. When it didn't come, I felt exposed, like something had been taken away. That evening, as I was getting ready for bed, my phone buzzed. One new post. It was a mirror selfie. Me, standing in my bathroom, phone in hand, staring at the screen. The thing was, I wasn't holding my phone. It was on the counter behind me. In the reflection, just over my shoulder, there was someone else. Not clearly, just a shape where there shouldn't have been one. The caption said, "This is the only one you'll remember." I don't remember screaming or running. I remember sitting down slowly, like my body had decided for me that sudden movements were a bad idea. I remembered the smell of the bathroom cleaner and the sound of my neighbor's TV through the wall. Normal things, grounding things. I deleted my Instagram account that night. Not deactivated, deleted. I changed my number, I took time off work and stayed with my parents for a while. Nothing followed me there. No photos, no messages. The account disappeared entirely, like it had never existed. Eventually, I moved. Different city, new job, new routines. I don't post photos anymore. I don't let people tag me. I keep my accounts private, and even then, I barely use them. Sometimes, late at night, I'll wake up and check my phone without really knowing why. There's never anything there. No notifications, no private accounts waiting to be accepted. But every once in a while, when I'm standing in front of a mirror and my phone is lying somewhere behind me, I get the distinct feeling that if I turned around too fast, I'd see something I wasn't supposed to remember.